what to do with assets when you're closing a business. I have more and more clients right now that are coming in and they want to either sell or close their business, and have our tax teams do an assessment. They know they want to sell and they're going to be, selling for 10 million, 15 million. How do they reduce those taxes? We have the best tax teams in the world, and we would love to invite them to take a look at what you're doing to yourself before you close it, and set it before you close it or sell it. 3 years of really, really strategic books, meaning bookkeeping, cash flows, financial analysis. So 3 things I'm going to talk about in this, and there's a lot of checklists, so get a pen and paper. How to handle the business assets as you wind down, the tax efficient ways to liquidate, and the strategies to protect and repurpose your wealth. And a lot of you think you closed those companies that the company was in. You may or may not. We'll leave that to the end. So how do you handle business assets? Well, you make a complete inventory of everything you have. You decide if you're going to sell, transfer, repurpose into a different asset, or a different company can also purchase it. Separate, if you haven't already, personal and business property from each other, so you actually have a proper evaluation. Now, a lot of you, this is where it gets complicated, because you're using our strategies to do as many deductions as you can. But if those aren't standard deductions the business uses, because a lot of times you and your family, like you're going to employ your kids, well, that company may not employ kids. It may not have certain kinds of vehicles that you have. So a lot of times in the strategy of selling and cleaning a company to sell, you move those that are deductions, but they need to be in a different company, because you need to present what we call a clean set of books, which is just about the cost of goods, the income, and the expense of what it takes to run the company, with no other ancillary. Even though there are deductions that are legal for you, it gets a little confusing, and a lot of you shortcut yourself and sell your companies or close them when you could have actually maximized some better wealth building strategies out of it. Now, how do you activate a better tax plan? This is critical. Again, 3 years before you decide to sell or close, you want to sell them over time to manage the income spikes. You want to actually manage the cash, like getting cash versus cash flow, which is actually selling or closing again over the course of time, creates less capital gains and typically a better tax strategy for the corporate structure. You want to consider a 179 deduction and depreciation recapture. You want to consider converting equipment or intellectual property to personal use, so you can continue to allow yourself to use it, or sell the intellectual property. Make sure that's very defined in what category they can use your IP. So for example, if I ever sold the Millionaire Maker rights to somebody, I can't even imagine how long that contract would be, about how they had to honor the work, the transparency, the integrity of the body of work and intellectual property. It gets a little challenging if people want to take it into other modalities. So just be very mindful how that's sold, or at least recaptured if abused. Now, before I go to some final points, I want you here 5 days a week. Click that notification button and have that video show up. So spend 10, 15 minutes a day in your money education. You need to lean in and learn. This isn't something that can be done for you. It has to be done with you. The more you own this plan, the more you own your work inside of becoming a wealth builder and entrepreneur, the more successful you'll be. Most people sit back passively and they want me to have this little magic wand and do it all for them. It doesn't work. It's not my business. If it was my business, I would do it. If I want to sell the business, then I'm going to take a percent. I don't do that. It's not something I offer. My point is lean in and understand more about your business. Now, if you need to learn to understand corporate life, I'm going to give you 2 tickets to our Millionaire Intensive. I want you here in the next 90 days. We're recording this at the end of September. We are going to complete this year in our 8-hour series of our Millionaire Intensive and divide that into shorter experiences throughout the month. So make sure you grab those 2 tickets and use them. You have 3 more dates in 2025 to use them. Now, how do you protect and repurpose your wealth as you do this? So depending on the tax plan, they may not just buy whoever's buying or you're closing or selling the assets. You have to decide, is there liability? Like, is the company, the S Corp, the C Corp, the LLC that it was in, those are American terms, is it worth keeping vital and keeping it alive and repurposing? Or is it better just to close it down or sell it with the asset that it is being constituted with? You want to make sure that any of the wealth you accumulate, you either put back into other companies as a loan or investment. You can put it into a trust, but trusts don't have the deductions. So typically you want to put any money inside of a company or hold the company it was in, and then the company is held in trust, so you have better tax planning and estate planning. And those dollar amounts are staying really high, even with the big, beautiful bill, the law now, and how estates are going to be taxed. Without a revocable family living trust, you'll end up in probate anywhere in the world. So make sure that's handled. If you don't know how to do that, please contact our office, ask for a gap analysis. I'm going to start consistently putting my Millionaire Maker as a download in my show notes, so you can download the version 2, go through the first 3 chapters, fill out a gap analysis, and talk to our team. I want to see what kind of a financial profile you're at and how we can help you move ahead to your goals. Last thing is, as you get into a cash or an ongoing cash payout situation, you want to make sure that you're looking for new assets to buy and reinvest, whether that is back into the business and the industry that you're in. If you want to move towards real estate, you want to move to gas and oil, you want to move to storage, you want to move to RV parks, what do you want to do? We'd love to help educate you in these categories. We have experts in all these categories, and I love facilitating your learning on your wealth building and entrepreneurial journey. If you have any questions, go to askloral.com, ASKLORAL, ask a question, make a request. We'll be back tomorrow.